Hello, and welcome to day 3 of Into the Unknown. My name is Wallace, and today I am your emergency presenter. Unfortunately, Andrew cannot be with us today as he's still in the queue at Sainsbury's. Still, not to worry, keep calm and carry on, as my mother used to say. I can see that the first thing you need to do is warm up, and that the warm-up is led by somebody called Samanami. That's a funny name. Oh well, takes all sorts. Over to you, Samanami.
I think it's time for an announcement, Boggles. Do you want to take it away?
I'll take it away. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Captain Boggles speaking. Welcome to flight BB732X. We are currently cruising at an altitude of 5 million feet. Passengers on the left-hand side may be able to see the Antarctic through their windows. And your in-flight entertainment will be beginning shortly. Fun fact, actually, about Antarctic. Did you know that 90% of the world's fresh water comes from there?
That is a fun fact. It's a fun. I did not know that. No, hello. Come on, cadets. Come on in. Ooh. It's been a difficult flight today up north, but I'm glad you could make it to learn the tricks of the trade. Lesson number 3. But before we teach you such wonderful secrets, we need to see if you've been paying attention, listening and looking closely.
And if you can remember last few days 1 and 2.
Days 1 and 2. On your feet.
Let's do it.
Let's see if you're up to it.
Hit the music. Oh, very good.
You did very well there. I think you're good enough
It's good.
to learn day 3. We'll teach it to them.
Yeah.
Okay, well here's what happened. We left you panicking because of an alarm that went off. Sometimes an alarm goes off and you need to perform an emergency bailout, which means first take care of the passengers, but then put on your own parachute and jump out of the plane. Free fall for a while before you pull the cord and steer your way to the left and to the right, looking for a safe place to land. Sometimes, however, very rarely, you'll find a hole inside your parachute and you may panic. If, however, you do find yourself in this situation, prepare for a crash landing and maybe aim for the water. Swim your way to shore and identify where you could possibly be in the world. A good way to do this, after having had a look around, is to examine the local wildlife. This is easily done by pricking the ears and tickling under the chin of a local animal you might find. Boggles has just identified a zebra, suggesting that she is in sub-Saharan Africa. Once you have identified where you are, try and find a way out. Identify nearby transport, like a helicopter for example. If you see something like a helicopter, then light a flare connected to your life jacket and draw attention to it by celebrating wildly that you have been rescued. Thank you very much for listening. I do hope you've been paying attention. This is what it looks like to music.
That was some good celebrating.
celebrating. Remember that you can celebrate however you wish
As
and as long
inventive as you desire.
Some people bust out a little Egyptian move.
Oh,
A little Egyptian move. Some people go for the robot.
Ah, very good.
It's rather good. Some go for a more old-fashioned technique. But now it's your turn. You see how it's done to music? Up you get. On your feet. Day number 3.
Let's do it
ready
together.
to jump out of a plane.
Ah,
Oh, once again, a bit of a party animal in my time. Whew.
very good.
I'm too tired to continue, so you're just going to have to come back tomorrow.
We have a flight to get to.
What are we going to do tomorrow?
Tomorrow we're going to combine not only day 1, not only day 2, but day 3, all combined.
It'll also be examination day, where we see if you have passed your training. But for now, take care and happy flights.
Oh, I see! Sam and Amy. How silly of me. Well, thank you, Sam and Amy. And now it's time to sing some songs.
Oh, Alex, it's very cold today.
So cold.
Oh, where are we?
We're in the really cold place of Iceland.
Oh.
Ooh, it's making me cold just saying it.
Freezing. Well, what song should we do today?
I don't know. Oh, what's this?
Oh, it's a map.
A map. You know what song that reminds me of?
God's map.
God's map. What
The
is
Bible. Let's do that one.
Warm us up a bit.
Here we go. Ooh, it's going to be tricky. So chilly. Ooh.
Well, you're gonna get lost. It won't take long if you don't take a map to keep getting along. Be lost in the scrub as quick as can be if you don't take a map to up the country. If we read God's word, we'll know the way to live for Jesus and obey. We'll only know the way to go if we read God's map, the Bible. It's a winding road, you're gonna get stuck if you don't take a map. The track is like a map, head out back, you'll meet your match if you don't take a map to hack a bad patch. If we read God's word, we'll know the way to live for Jesus and obey. We'll only know the way to go if we read God's map, the Bible. It's the same when you go to catch a dingo, or when you take a track to compliment a flag, or when you want to be at the altitude. You can't go wrong if you take a map along. If we read God's word, we'll know the way to live for Jesus and obey. We'll only know the way to go if we read God's map, the Bible.
Oh,
Love.
feeling a bit warmer now.
Bit toastier, but still got a long way to go. Well, I think we should do another one that we know quite well. It's got some good actions, Alex. Should we just remind ourselves of those?
Is this way?
Way, truth, life.
Yeah.
That's what Jesus said. What about that growing part?
Oh yeah, my favourite part.
Ping! Okay, brilliant. Make sure you get the ping in. So important.
It's the most important part.
What verse are we talking about, Alex?
Okay, is it John 14 verse 6?
I think she's got it this today, guys. I think
Hopefully.
she's got it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's give it a go.
I am the way, the truth, and the life. That's what Jesus said. I am the way, the truth, and the life. That's what Jesus said. Without the way, there is no knowing. Without the truth, there is no knowing. When I
very, very nice, boys and girls. But quite hard to go through all this snow, don't you think?
Yeah, it's like trudging.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A bit slippery
yeah.
in our ice lounge, but let's have another go at that one.
Yeah.
I think we can sing it even better.
Yes.
Here we go.
I am the way, the truth, and the life. That's what Jesus said. I am the way, the truth, and the life. That's what Jesus said. Without the way, there is no going. Without the truth, there is no knowing. Without the life, there is no growing. Ping! I am the way, the truth, and the life. John 14, verse 6.
Wonderful. I'm feeling much warmer now.
Yeah, I see you've taken off
Taking it
your,
off. I don't need
your
it.
blanket.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, I think this last one really will get us warm.
Definitely. Especially the zooming around the room.
I think you guys are going to be fantastic at this one.
Yeah.
Okay, let's give it a go.
I'm gonna click, click, click. I'm gonna clap, clap, clap. I'm gonna click, I'm gonna clap and praise the Lord. I'm gonna what He's done. I'm gonna make Him number one. I'm gonna click, I'm gonna clap and praise the Lord. I'm gonna zoom, zoom, zoom around the room, I'm gonna zoom around the room and praise the Lord. Because of what He's done, I'm gonna make Him number one. I'm gonna zoom around the room and praise the Lord. I'm gonna sing, sing, sing. I'm gonna shout, shout, shout. I'm gonna sing, I'm gonna shout and praise the Lord. Because of what He's done, I'm gonna make Him number one. I'm gonna sing, I'm gonna shout and praise the Lord. I'm gonna click, click, click. I'm gonna clap, clap, clap. I'm gonna sing around the room and praise the Lord. Because of what He's done, I'm gonna make Him number one. I'm gonna sing, I'm gonna shout and praise the Lord.
I'll tell you, I'm definitely feeling much warmer now.
I think the ice
Thanks
is
for
starting to
singing
melt.
along. Yeah, it is.
All that singing. Well, boys and girls, we will see you later on. Bye-bye!
Now it's time for our story. I wonder what adventures lie in store for Daniel and his friends today.
Well, good morning, boys and girls. It's time for our next instalment of Into the Unknown. The story of Daniel and Hananiah, Azariah and Mishael as they were carried off, captured to the land of Babylon, to the city of Babylon, where they were educated in the Babylonian University of All Knowledge and Wisdom, came out with top marks because they honoured God and because they prayed to God and were able to know, Daniel was able to know the king's dream and the meaning of it. They're now top officials in Babylon and working for the king. Now, in this episode, I have to say, I don't know where Daniel is. Daniel does not appear in the story. It's possible that he would have been sent away to part of the Babylonian kingdom, maybe many miles away, on business or something. I don't know, but he doesn't appear in this story. And I'm sure that if he had been around in Babylon, then he would have been right next to his mates. But he wasn't there. So, the story begins like this. Well, you may remember, yesterday, you remember, there's a big statue, wasn't there? He had a dream of a big statue. Head of gold, chest of silver, belly of bronze, legs of iron and clay, all that sort of stuff. And Daniel had told King Nebuchadnezzar that he was the head of gold at the top. Now, I can quite imagine that King Nebuchadnezzar rather liked this. He was very full of himself and his amazing Babylonian kingdom. Which is the best kingdom in the world? Mine. Who's the greatest king in the world? Me. Who has created the most amazing city of Babylon? Me. Why, I am so great. I maybe ought to wait a minute, I've got a great idea. Why don't I build myself a statue like the one in my dreams, except all gold, top to bottom gold. Now, we don't know what this statue was of, but I can quite imagine that it was probably a likeness of King Nebuchadnezzar himself. And he set about, he got his engineers and tall image builders to come and say, look, I want to build a statue. And it's going to be 90 feet tall. That's nearly 30 meters. That's pretty big. 9 feet wide. That's sort of nearly 3 meters wide. And overlaid with gold, top to bottom. And this is brilliant. He said, I'm going to set it up on the plains of Dura. Because, well, a plain is where it's all flat. So you can guess that setting up a statue 90 feet high, covered with gold, you're going to be able to see it for miles. Yes, exactly, thought King Nebuchadnezzar. This statue, my wonderful statue covered in gold, gleaming, people will see it for miles and miles and miles and know that I, King Nebuchadnezzar, am the best king, the greatest king ever. Even the God of heaven said so in that dream. It's me, I'm the best. So the statue was built and it was set up on the plains of Dura. And probably on a sunny day, you needed sunglasses to look at it. Dazzling. And he sent messages out all over the Babylonian district and area to say, look, all the administrators and wise men and everyone who is of any importance whatsoever, you are told by the king to report to the statue at the plains of Dura for its dedication ceremony. And so, being very obedient citizens, they all turned up at the site of the statue on the plains of Dura. Whoa, what a statue. And then came the announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, the king would like to tell you that when you hear the sound of the music, the wonderful band, all sorts of instruments over here, when they start playing, you are to bow in worship to the statue of gold that King Nebuchadnezzar has set up. Oh, and by way of incentive, if you don't, you'll be thrown in the furnace. Okay, thank you very much, bye. So, when the musicians played, everyone had to bow or end up in a fiery furnace. As if a furnace could be anything else but fiery. So the music played, boom, en masse, everyone bowed down, probably as low as they could possibly get, because it was by order of King Nebuchadnezzar, and if they didn't, then there was going to be big trouble. But there were 3 people who stuck out like a sore thumb, because when the music played, they stayed standing. It was Hananiah, Azariah, and Mishael, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They didn't bow. So some of the other wise men and officials went snitching to the king and said, "Oh king, live forever. Some of your wise men haven't bowed down to the statue. When the music played, they didn't bow. They defied your order, O king." King Nebuchadnezzar was calm and controlled. Not! Ha! He went totally ballistic. What? They heard the music and they have not worshipped my statue, the statue that I set up. What? Bring them here at once to me now. And so Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were brought before the king. Now I think the king, when he saw who it was that had defied his order, they were some of his best wise men. So unlike Nebuchadnezzar, he actually gave them a second chance and said, now listen, chaps, listen, I was very put out by you not bowing down to my statue over there, very put out, rather annoyed indeed. But if now, when the music plays, you will bow down to my statue that I've set up, all well and good. But if you don't, you'll be in the fiery furnace. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego stood in front of the king and said, O king, live forever. But we don't have to defend ourselves. You know that we've been good citizens of your kingdom. You know that we've served you well. Now, if you do throw us into your fiery furnace, the God whom we serve is able to rescue us from the flames. He can do it. But even if he does not, O king, we want you to know that we will not ever serve your gods or worship the statue that you've set up. You can probably imagine what happened next. Nebuchadnezzar went ballistic. Right, that's it. I'm so angry I'm going to explode. But make that fiery furnace 7 times hotter than it's ever been before. And chuck them in, do it now. So they were tied up and taken to where the fiery furnace was. The people who were stoking the furnace put extra fuel in, made sure it was hot as it possibly be. Ooh, that's hot. Ooh. And Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were grabbed by soldiers and they were thrown into the fiery furnace. The furnace was so hot that the soldiers that threw them in were killed by the heat. Ha! That will sort out anyone who defies me and my orders. And King Nebuchadnezzar watched the flames and thought, ha, it's the end of them. Nebuchadnezzar was lost for words, which didn't happen very often. The men. They're in there. I can see them. Can you see them? Yes, you can see them. It's not just me. No, we can see them. They're in the fire and walking about. What's happened to the ropes? They've gone. There's another one in there. 1, 2, 3. There's 4. And the other one looks more like a god. So stunned and shocked was King Nebuchadnezzar. He shouted in there, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, please, come out, come out. And they walked out of the furnace. And everyone had a look at them and smelt, not even their clothes smelt of smoke or burning. The ropes were gone, but they were totally unharmed. Again, Nebuchadnezzar was totally stunned. Oh, your God is awesome. No one can save like your God. He's amazing. And he sent a decree out that anyone who said anything bad against the God of Hananiah, Azariah, and Mishael, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, If anyone said anything bad about their God, well, they'd be for it. But God had honoured and saved Hananiah, Azariah, and Mishael in a remarkable way. And God is a God who saves. Jesus means Saviour. And he came into the world not to rescue people. I can't promise, the Bible doesn't promise that he'll save people from flames. This is a very special time and it's like a one-off thing. But he does say that he will rescue people and bring them into his kingdom forever. Because the God who made this world that we've rebelled against and done wrong things, the Bible calls sin, we know that. We don't deserve to be with him, but he wants us to be with him forever. And Jesus came into the world to save people like you and me, because God is a God who saves. God is in control. Nothing is impossible for him. He's the God who loves to save people. Well, we've got another episode of Into the Unknown with Daniel, Hananiah, Azariah, and Mishael tomorrow. So I hope you'll come back tomorrow to hear our final episode. So I look forward to seeing you then. Bye for now. Well, hello again, boys and girls. Me again with guitar. So it's time for our song. We've got to verse 3 now after our story today. So the words should be there. Let me sing it through for you, and you can have a go at singing it yourself. One day Nebuchadnezzar built a statue, and all the people must bow down. If they didn't worship, then in the furnace they would go. But Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego stood before the king, and they said, wait for it, not going into the chorus just yet. All right, so you sing it with me. Just the verse this time. Here we go, are you ready? One day Nebuchadnezzar built a statue, and all the people must bow down. If they didn't worship, then in the furnace they would go. But Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego stood before the king, and they said, not yet. Okay, so that's verse 3. So I think now what we need to do is take a deep breath. And go from verse 1 all the way through to verse 3, all choruses as well. Are you ready? Here we go. Daniel and his 3 friends were taken off to Babylon to learn the customs of the land. They were told to eat the food offered to the idols, or else there would be trouble and their God would lose his head. But they said, the Lord our God is the only God. We trust in him and we follow his word. Whatever you do, we will not fear. The Lord our God is here. One night Nebuchadnezzar had a strange dream. He asked his wise men what it meant. If they could not tell him, then all of them would have to die. But Daniel was the only one able to tell the king, and he said, the Lord our God is the only God. We trust in him and we follow his word. Whatever you do, we will not fear. The Lord our God is here. One day Nebuchadnezzar built a statue, and all the people must bow down. If they didn't worship, then in the furnace they would go. But Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego stood before the king, and they said, the Lord our God is the only God. We trust in him and we follow his word. Whatever you do, we will not fear. The Lord our God is here. Whew. Well done for keeping up so far. Well, that's the third verse. Just one more verse to add, which will come after the story tomorrow. See you then.
Hello everyone, it's Jamie here and we have another memory verse for us to learn today. It's great to learn bits of the Bible, isn't it? Now don't worry, we've disconnected the doorbell, so we're not going to get interrupted today. And the bit of the Bible we're going to learn is from Daniel... Unbelievable. Okay, let's come and see who it is. Follow me. Come and see who it is. Hello?
Red Fox 2146.
Very mysterious. The suitcase. Let's come and see what's inside.
It's a message, but what does it say? It doesn't say anything. Maybe it's written in invisible ink.
Let's use our super solvent reactor fluid.
It's actually working. What does it say?
For no other God can save
in this way.
Daniel chapter 3 verse 29.
What does save mean?
When the Bible uses the word saved, it doesn't use it in the way that, say, a goalkeeper would save a football. But the Bible uses the word saved to explain that we can be saved from something. The Bible says that we can be saved from our sin and the result of our sin, which is death. And we can be saved by Jesus' death on the cross for us. Let's learn that Bible verse now. Let's say it together. For no other God can save in this way. Daniel chapter 3 verse 29. That's great. Now you join in at home. Let's say it together. For no other God can save in this way. Daniel chapter 3 verse 29. Really good. Okay, we're going to make it a bit harder. We're going to put some cheeky faces on over some of the words to make it a bit harder for us. Let's say it again, join in at home. For no other God can save in this way. Daniel chapter 3 verse 29. Very good. Okay, let's make it even harder. Let's put some other faces on. Okay, let's say together. For no other God can save in this way. Daniel chapter 3 verse 29. Brilliant. Okay, now over to Caleb for a recap.
For no other God can save in this way. Daniel chapter 3 verse 29. Good. Now try it on your own.
What a great thing to remember! We have a God who can save us from the most difficult of circumstances. Well, hooray for God! That's what I say. Let's sing to him now.
Hello, boys and girls. Us again?
Lucy, I'm cold
Oh,
again.
it's really
Need to
cold, isn't
warm
it?
up.
Well, I think we should start with a song.
Oh, I think that's a great idea.
What about God's people aren't super brave, super Eskimos?
No, Lucy, you've gotten cold. It's gone to your brain.
Oh, yeah.
It's superheroes.
Oh, yeah, okay. So let's sing that one. Let's hope I get the words
Good idea.
right. Okay. God's people aren't super brave, superheroes. They don't have muscles from their heads to their toes. They're not gladiators, it's easy to see. In fact, it's amazing. They're just like you and me. Sometimes scared, shaking and shivering. But let's realize we can call on our side, and we can do absolutely anything. God's people aren't super brave, superheroes. They don't have muscles from their heads to their toes. They're not gladiators, it's easy to see. In fact, it's amazing. They're just like you and me. Sometimes scared, shaking and shivering. But let's realize we can call on our side, and we can do absolutely anything. God's people aren't super brave, superheroes. They don't have muscles from their heads to their toes. They're not gladiators, it's easy to see. In fact, it's amazing. They're just like you and me.
Oh, definitely warming up a bit.
It's warming up my toes.
Yeah.
Definitely, my toes
Yeah,
are feeling warmer.
but I think my fingers. Are your fingers pretty cold?
My fingers are kind of cold, and I think we need a county
I
down
think we
kind
need
of
to do a song that involves
Yeah.
moving those fingers.
Well, what about 10, 9, 8? God is great.
Great idea.
Fantastic.
Oh,
Well, let's give it a go, boys and girls. Shall we do a split here?
split.
I think we should let the boys and girls do the 10, and then we'll reply
And then
with the
we'll
10.
the 10. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give it a go. 10, 9, 8. God is great. 7, 6, 5. God's alive. 4, 3, 2, and 1. He's the King of everyone. God's the mighty, mighty Lord of the world.
Your turn.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Blast off!
Oh, amazing. I think
We do blast off again, and then
Are we going to be able to like this?
we'll try. Blast off! 10, 9, 8. God is great. 7, 6, 5. God's alive. 4, 3, 2, and 1. He's the King of everyone. God's the mighty, mighty Lord of all. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Blast off! Woohoo!
Wow,
Wow.
thank you. I think I heard you guys from here.
I think so. That was fantastic.
Amazing.
Great singing. Well done, boys and girls.
Thanks for warming
See
us
you
up.
tomorrow.
Bye.
I'm not very good at making things. It comes from not having any fingers. What about you? Are you ready for another craft idea? I'm sure you are. So let's go over to Joe.
Hi everyone! Seekers, trekkers, voyagers, navigators. It's time for you to decide how you're going to travel on your very own journey into the unknown. Will it be by plane or boat? Time to make a paper boat or plane, decorate it and write the verse on the back. Have fun!
Hi, boys and girls. It's me again, nearly at the end of our third morning together. So we've just got time to run through our Into the Unknown song as we have it so far. 3 verses and choruses all the way through from the beginning. Are you ready? Here we go. Daniel and his 3 friends were taken off to Babylon to learn the customs of the land. They were told to eat the food offered to the idols, or else there would be trouble and their God would lose his head. But they said, the Lord our God is the only God. We trust in him and we follow his word. Whatever you do, we will not fear. The Lord our God is here. One night Nebuchadnezzar had a strange dream. He asked his wise men what it meant. If they could not tell him, then all of them would have to die. But Daniel was the only one able to tell the king. And he said, the Lord our God is the only God. We trust in him and we follow his word. Whatever you do, we will not fear. The Lord our God is here. One day Nebuchadnezzar built a statue, and all the people must bow down. If they didn't worship, then in the furnace they would go. But Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego stood before the king, and they said, the Lord our God is the only God. We trust in him and we follow his word. Whatever you do, we will not fear. The Lord our God is here. Well, my voice is getting a little bit rough, but I hope I'm going to survive for tomorrow. Nearly at the end of today, but another verse after the story tomorrow. 4th and final verse. So do join me then. See you soon. Bye.
Oh, phew! I'm back! Did I miss anything? What? Everything? Oh man. Well, at least I'm back to join you for tomorrow for the last day of Into the Unknown. Thanks, Wallace.